Hello, it's Jess from Fænix Coaching, and I am here with one of my previous clients, Allegra, who is an actress and has been an absolute joy and a pleasure working with. So we're gonna just have a little bit of a chat about how your experience was, Allegra, and see where it takes us. So,
Yeah,
hello.
perfect. Yeah, hi. Likewise, Jess, it was amazing working with you. So I guess I'll start off by saying that I was referred to Jess by a friend of mine who really highly recommended him, and she called him the back doctor, let's say, in a sense, and because I had constant back pain whenever I was training. And I think that so I had no idea what to look forward to or to expect when starting to work with Jess. And initially, he kind of broke down the program in different segments, and I in the end got so much more out of it than I could have expected, because not only is my back pain relieved, but I can do so much more with my physical and mental well-being now, let's say.
Oh, great! It's just so happy to hear it, and it's just you applied yourself so much. Just like so happy with just watching you grow is just so fantastic, and So I got a few questions. So number one being like, what was your challenge before we started working together? So that you touched on some like back pain training.
Yeah. So the main one was definitely the back pain. But I think that there were so many underlying issues that I hadn't really dealt with and were not, I wasn't really dealing with, let's say. So we started off with that. So he set up a program for me that was stretch based to kind of get the whole body aligned, and then moved on to more core exercises and weights. But we also did a lot of meditation work. We did a lot of, our different exercises to do with like goal setting and mindfulness and vision boards and dream boards. And I think that a lot of things that, especially confidence within myself with my work, was kind of lacking. And I think that through doing these things, I was able to grow on a spiritual and mental level to do more of the things that I love doing, and realizing that life can work for me and not necessarily against me. So a lot of good lessons learned.
Fantastic. So like that's quite like so people might be wondering like, okay, so you came to him with a back problem, how come you're doing dream boards and all of this like kind of like spiritual development work, like what how could you see that kind of work tying into getting you the result in terms of your back pain?
Yeah, I mean, I think that, what people don't really tell you often is that so much of the physical is combined with the mental state. So, I had, my shoulders were arching forward, my head as well, and like my back kept hurting. And it was a lot of combination of like, these insecurities and like these emotions that were kind of trapped within me. And that's why I think that it's so intertwined, the whole rehabilitation with nutrition as well. And all this healing comes, I think, from, the body itself, and from starting there, and from the body being realigned and rehabilitated, you can just springboard into so many different things that that benefit you, in the long run.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Because it's really interesting, this connection between the mind and body, and how you can kind of like change the mental state through what you're doing with the body, and vice versa. So I know personally, if I've been working a lot or I'm like quite tired, if I like say like stretch, then the change in the body automatically affects what's happening.
Exactly.
Oh, awesome. Okay, so what kind of results have you experienced through us working together?
Yes. So a lot. I think I've worked with Jess for about 6 months, over 6 months. And, I think that the main one, like I said, is that I was previously training just, I knew what I was doing, but a lot of exercises to do with the core and like weights, I never really saw results for one. And then also I was training from a place of aggression more than ease. So I was focusing on like doing rather than like enjoying the process and like being present with what I was doing. So I think that one of the results was really emphasizing the breath and the groundedness with all the work that I was doing, not only with like exercises, but with any task or daily activity. Because the moment, you know, you rely on your breath to guide you, everything, you know, everything just falls into place almost. Like the slower you go, the faster things move somehow, or vice, you know. So I think that was the first really big result and change. And now I'm not only seeing results physically, but also, you know, I'm training with more pleasure and ease, and with less pain, with no pain, you know, because I just couldn't do so many things because of the back problem. Then I saw a big change with just my perspective towards life in general. I was never a cynic, but I always kind of saw things in like from a victim standpoint. So I always thought that things were happening because X, Y, and Z, or because of this, and because I wasn't good enough for all these things. And I think that, you know, changing the framework of how life can work for you and how things can happen in your favor if you just follow your goal and are determined. I think that was a really good lesson as well, because it's true, you know. And so another one was definitely the perspective on goal setting and life in general. And to touch upon the dream board and the vision board, that also helped me kind of visualize more of what I wanted and the tasks of how to get there. So not only just thinking, okay, I really want this, but then, oh, it'll never happen, or I don't know how to get there. Just kind of put me through a program of step by step to indicate, you know, a time frame for a goal or how to get there. So there's more of a plan in action rather than just, you know, saying something and then it never happening.
Yeah, sure. Because as you're speaking, I'm just getting like goose pimples. I'm just remembering like the first pages and like it's really like
so much.
Is the work we did together, can you see that is it changed or benefited your work as an actress at all?
Yes, I think that, you know, the first one was interesting because one of the first tasks was looking at archetypes and you know, the archetype pyramid, and that was definitely really nice to explore because it's all these different tropes and characteristics that each archetype does have and that we each inherently have in ourselves, and choose to, you know, push one more than the other or not, but it's about balancing everything. And that was really nice to explore because it kind of, you know, was nice for character development, let's say. And the other one was, well, for me, it's always been like about the belief in myself. And I think that's the thing that like I've really struggled with. And it's the belief that, you know, I can do something and that I'm good enough for something. So I think that's what helped me the most with my work. It was kind of like the ability to see that, you know, I am good enough and that I can be understood and what I'm saying is important. So I think that, and the presence work as well, you know, for like taking things one step at a time and being completely focused and aware. Oh, and another thing as well that like Jess always emphasized was like the nature aspect and how nature really, really helps with us growing and, you know, the necessity of it as human beings to interact with that. So like whenever I go on walks now, it's like a meditation because you really feel like it's so powerful when you know, when you're surrounded by that. And so I really you know, I took advantage of that. I live next to a park, so I try and walk as much as I can, and I, you know, that's like my meditation. If I don't meditate, that is my meditation, the walking meditation for being present and grounded.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I mean, like nature, the great recharger, and that's like a pretty good point, because like a lot of people are like thinking, oh, I don't have time for meditation, or I got to sit down for like an hour and a half, and you know, but actually, like, so what you're saying is that actually anything can be turned into a meditation.
Exactly. Washing dishes can be a meditation. I mean, anything, as long as you breathe and you just are doing the task fully and you're aware and present and grounded.
Awesome. Oh, it's just I'm so happy to hear like your journey's just been, yeah, it's just fantastic. Like
Yeah.
I'm just so happy to hear all of this. Um, so next question. How was your experience? Is there anything that stands out or that you specifically enjoyed with us working together?
Yes. So I would say that, Jess is someone that really cares about the people he works with. And I think that that really shows because he was always sending me articles, videos, things that kind of related to, book recommendations, anything, movies, to what I was, let's say, going through or studying or maybe needed more information on. And was always available on message if you needed him. And, we worked a lot of the time remotely on Zoom. And so that was also great because we got through so much material weekly. We met up every week, and he sent me tasks to do, and then we would talk about it, and he would offer suggestions and all these quotes, and it was really nice. And then we met in person, and I loved that as well because I might as well talk about our last session because that was one of my favorites. The last session was really nice because we went outside and we were running. He taught me how to run properly in the rain, and we ended up doing this walk of life that was like really powerful, which is taking you through the next couple of years of your life, saying them out loud, and how you feel by saying those things out loud to someone. And it was really powerful, and I thought that it was such a beautiful way to end all of the program and wrap it up because it just emphasized like everything that I learned, and I'm looking forward to putting into practice more, Yeah.
Yeah. I get goosebumps because I get memories. No, it was it's super enjoyable for myself as a coach as well, because like the really big thing was like many great things about you and your journey and the way you applied yourself, but like for me it was just your dedication. It was just so you were in there, you completed all of the work, you really applied yourself, and it was just so fantastic to see, and just to watch you grow as a result of that was just like there's nothing better for me as someone who's working with a client. So thank you for that. Okay, next question, nearly there. So is there anything that is now possible for you that wasn't possible before?
Yes. So like I said, the exercising, I think, was, the one of the main things that it started off me going to see you was that I was training, and I just had constant pains in my lower back because I wasn't using any of my core, and I didn't really know how to lift weights properly and everything. So I think that my training and the place that I am mentally with training itself and with exercising is much healthier and just sustainable in a sense, because it used to be very quick fixes, or like with diets as well, And so I think that, the overall message and philosophy is like longevity in life and making the most out of it, and, living your true potential, let's say. And I think that that's what I can do now that I couldn't in terms of exercising and nutrition. And then, like I said, I think the exercises, writing down goals or accomplishments that I've had, personal accomplishments or things that I want to accomplish, and all these things that I never really wrote down on paper or said out loud. I think that it just made me feel more confident and see some of the potential that I still can unlock, but like the ground, the seedlings are growing, let's say, from the ground. Those I would say.
Yeah,
The
fantastic.
main one.
Yeah, it's a really important point about the longevity of things, because I think we live in this society which is based around quick fixes, like here's the miracle diet, or here's the magic pill, or whatever it's going to be. Or whereas like the reality of it is that there aren't actually really any quick fixes, and it's I think through the person taking responsibility and control of their health is what
Yes.
really empowers them to move forward and live a long, healthy life, which is,
Yeah.
you know, I mean, like, you know, the goal, my goal is I still want to be running around doing stuff when I'm 90, you know, like, and
Yes.
where I see it is like the stuff we do for ourselves now builds towards that. So
Yeah. 100%.
Cool. Okay, great. So last question. Would you recommend working with me to others?
Yes. I would definitely recommend. I think Jess is a really cool guy, super sweet, and very, very, very passionate and diligent. And, you know, really cares for the people he works for, and it just shows with the amount of work he wants to put in to help someone. And I just think it's really nice to see as well when someone feels like they found what they are supposed to be doing, which is helping other people. So yes, I would definitely recommend.
Thank you so much. And, that's fantastic. We'll wrap up there. Like, thank you so much for your time today, and thank you so much for your hard work, your dedication, and all of the effort that you put in your program. And it's just so, like, I was saying to you before the call, it's just like I could tell within 3 seconds that, like, you know, everything was cool because you're like glowing at the moment. So like, well done. Keep going and keep growing.
Thank you, Jess. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Stop the recording.